Hi everyone! Thanks for stopping by. I'm Julie. Welcome to my 52 weeks project. This week we are completing week number 38 and I've got a treat for you. Now let's look at the layout. I'm going to be doing, as I said, week 38. We're moving right along and I'm going to be doing this sketch right here. It calls for a 4x6, but you'll see that I'll change that up. And we also have 5 weeks for the month of September. So let's take a look at this layout. So as I mentioned, I have a treat. So I was a guest designer on the Craft Roulette. I'm going to link their information down below. And with Mary, we created this really pretty card. So I thought, why not document this event? It was quite the event, I have to say. So let's look at this. Let's break it down a little bit. So I did have 2 pictures that I wanted to highlight. So I'm still using my 4x6 format mat. I'm going to put here right at the bottom this 3x4 photo. And then I'm going to add my other photo, which is a kind of an odd size. But I find that when you use one mat and you combine 2 photos, it works beautifully. So I thought, I love to do backgrounds. You know, you've seen it in this project before. Why not use that same stamp set I actually used to create this card on this episode? So it was episode 80 and we created this beautiful card together. Again, I'm going to link the information down below for you to take a look at how this all came together. So I'm going to do a tone-on-tone stamping here, and the cardstock is 2 tones. You've got a dark side and a light side. So I'm going to go ahead here and stamp on the light side. I'm going to test it out here. I always test out before I actually stamp on my finished project, except when I'm on the Craft Roulette, of course. But in this case, I could actually test it out and keep on going. So I'm going to add this beautiful background, and I'm also going to stagger the image. This particular image has got a cluster of flowers, and if I went all in a row, it would kind of look odd. So I'm kind of doing 3 at the top, and then when I get to the second row, you'll see here that I kind of staggered all of those flowers, and it looks really, really pretty. I always like to finish it off with a little bit of ink distressing on the edges, and it just really completes the page. I did ink distress everything with the same color ink. I figured, you know what, if the ink pad is open, why not do a little bit of distressing? And I usually stick to the same color, so that's a little tip for you. Even on this zip strip here, and it's really cute with the little hearts. So we're just going to add that to all of the pieces as I mentioned, and we're going to put this layout together. So again, this layout was calling for a 4x6 format, but you can tweak it with the photos that match the week you are scrapbooking. So I'm going to add this piece right here at the bottom, and it goes right flush, just like so. And then once that's down, I'm going to add the branding strip right on top. So I like that it gives it dimension, and those branding strips are perfect. They just add that pop of color to your pattern paper that you already have. So I'm liking how this is turning out. I'm just going to pop that right on the page. So I hope that you're still following along. I know many of you are, and I've received really great comments on this project. And it is an interesting project, and it is, you know, you never know, or I never know what I'm going to end up with from week to week. So it's a little exciting and sometimes a little bit nerve-wracking, especially when I get to Friday and I haven't taken a photo, which was perfect for last week because this picture was actually taken Friday night. So I was quite happy about that. And it's a nice story to document. I'm hoping that my kids are going to look back on this someday and say, what was this Craft Roulette show Mom was always talking about? Who knows? They might like to do it. So here I'm adding my little picture right here, and this picture was an odd size, as I mentioned, but if you frame it or put another mat underneath, it looks good. So it's a good way of adding different photos, different size, and adding them all into the center of your mat. Now, I could have used flip-flaps here, but I'm very mindful that I want to get to the end of this book and finish December, so I'm trying to minimize on the bulk. So that's why I separated my photos the way I did. Here I'm pulling one of these really old, they're craft borders. They're actually really, really pretty. And I just found that it really framed or anchored my two pieces at the bottom, because this is where I'm going to add my title. I'm just going to snip this off. And then I'm going to add my title with these really neat white acrylic alphabets. And I've been playing with these for a little bit now in this project, and I'm trying to find out what's the best way to adhere them down. Now, I did use micro dots in a previous video, and here I'm using the mono glue, the Tombow mono glue, and it's the clear one. And I find that this one here might be the winner. Like it's really nice to work with because it's kind of slippery, so you can move those really tiny little alphabets, and you can you have time to move them around. And if you have glue that goes out onto the side like I have here, I buy really inexpensive brushes from the dollar store, and I just kind of brush the side of the alphabet where the glue came out, and I kind of just wipe it off with the little paintbrush, and it works really, really well. Now you can see here that I did fuss with these quite a bit, and I move them around, and then I just use my little paintbrush and I kind of wipe off the glue from the side, and it looks really good. You'll see in the still shot that the glue doesn't show at all. I'm going to add a couple of sunflowers here. I did a few extras at the beginning of the month because I knew that I was going to use them throughout the weeks, and I'm going to put them right here on Mary's Mask. And if you want to know what that's all about, you're going to have to join the Craft Roulette. We have our own language, I tell you. So I'm going to add my little sunflowers right here, and then I'm going to add my journaling. There's not that much journaling, but just enough to remind me of what was going on and why this Craft Roulette show was so important to me during 2021. So I'm going to add them right here, and I'm adding them down with, again, just the liquid glue. So because this is a smaller format, I do like to type up my journaling on my computer, and then I just cut them into tiny little strips. I find that when you cut them in little strips in different occasions, it doesn't cover up all of the photo or all of the background. In some cases, I have been using fancy brackets, but it's just another way to capture just a few memories so that it kind of triggers what was going on that particular day. So we're going to add our little 38 weeks. Can you believe it? 38 weeks. We're still going strong. I'm just looking for placement here just to create that nice balance between the week, the title, and the journaling, and I think that right here on the left-hand side ended up working very, very nicely. So, what do you think? Scrapbooking, card making, all rolled into one. Let's add a little bit of bling to this card, or not card, this layout, and it's going to be done. So we're going to add them in a somewhat of a triangle formation. So I always start on the left side for, I guess, because I'm left-handed, and I just like to kind of do elongated triangles, and then when I get to the top or bottom, I often double them up, like the little gems. I often do that. So this is a completion of page number 38, and I can still kind of move my little alphabets here. So that's what I like about that glue. It takes quite a while to dry, so sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. So let's take a peek here at all of the weeks. So we've got one more week to go. So thanks for following along. I think you're doing just great. These are the completed pages for the month of September. As always, Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and don't forget to take pictures. I'll see you in the next video.